The All-Stars of Columbia County went down in the very, very first game they played in this tournament, but they have yet to lose since then. The stretch and the pitch. It's inside. It's by the catcher. Back to the screen. The runner was going on the pitch. Kevin Erndl will be credited with a stolen base. They may not have had a play on him even if Averett had caught that ball. Columbia County lost 9-5 to Duluth their first time out. Since then, they have beaten Decula by a score of 10-3. That set up a matchup with Dade County, and Columbia County blasted Dade 8-1. Then they blasted Collins Hill even worse, 12-1. It was a 10-run rule game called after 6 innings. Then a more close game as they had to come from behind win. Swinging a ground ball towards short. The shortstop dives, makes the stop, but doesn't have a play at any base. All hands safe. Erndl will move over to third base. Williams to first. It's a clean base hit. Ryan Lee made a terrific stop to get to that ball, perhaps saving a run, keeping the ball from going to center field, but he had no chance at either the runner at third or at first. Columbia County was behind 4-3 against Rockdale, in danger of being eliminated. They scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th to win it 5-4. Yesterday they showed up to the ballpark, won a coin flip, and didn't have to play, and so here they are in the championship game. Lamar Leverett will be the hitter with first and third and 1 out. Towns stretch. Leverett wanting to bunt but pulled it back. It was called a strike. Williams was headed for second base. No throw down there, so a stolen base, the second one of the inning for the Columbia County All-Stars. Michael Towns is a rested arm. That's what a good lead will do for you. They didn't have to use him yesterday. In fact, they used Ryan Lee to start with, then Cedric Floyd finished the game up for the Covington All-Stars. Pitch is taken for a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Big Lamar Leverett, a third baseman, with a tremendous amount of power. We've seen some big shots off of this guy's bat. Leverett, like Will Stuckey of the Moultrie All-Stars, a very big young man with lots of power. The 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3, inside corner. That is a big strikeout of the cleanup batter, Lamar Leverett. 2 outs in the inning, 2 strikeouts for Michael Towns. And Brian Bacon will step up. Columbia County's head coach and assistant coaches have been kind of juggling their lineup the last couple of games. Lamar Leverett, for example, who was the cleanup batter here, was batting 6th or 7th in most of the other games, as the first pitch is low, 1-0. That will usually tell you that they do not have one really standout player, but just like the Covington All-Stars, it is a team effort. The stretch by Towns is 1-0 pitch, misses low and outside, 2-0. Matt Schell comes in for second base, has a quick word with Michael Towns. Schell has the highest batting average of anyone on this Covington team, and he's also played a steady second base. The stretch, the 2-0 pitch, bounced foul down the third base line. Kerry Gilstrap giving the all-out hustle, but it was well foul over by the third base coaching box. 2-1. Kevin Erndl, the runner at third base. Jeffrey Williams, the runner at second. 2 down. No score in the top of the first. Stretch and the pitch. Swung on in line to center field. It will bounce in for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the second one coming in. The throw is cut off, and Columbia County has an early lead, 2-0. Bacon drove one right straight into center field. It was an outside pitch. A good job of hitting to the off field. Driving in a pair of runs, and Columbia County now has the early lead. Scott McGowan will be the hitter, the right fielder for the Columbia County team. One thing that you can say about both of these teams, they are extremely well coached in their recreation programs from the time they enter up until now, and even into high school and beyond. As the first pitch is outside, a runner tries for second base. He's in there safely with a stolen base. Throw down was not in time. We saw a bit of that with the high school players from Columbia County. As well coached a bunch as any that you can possibly see anywhere in the state or perhaps anywhere in the southeast. Same with these 13 and 14-year-old All-Stars. Very strong and patient and disciplined hitters. There's a swing and a miss by Scott McGowan. It's 1-1. That's the main thing that's impressed me, is the hitting ability. In terms of their patience waiting for their pitch, being able to drive their pitch, taking the outside pitch to the opposite field. other very subtle hitting abilities that help you as a hitter. The 1-1 is called a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Towns looking to get out of this jam with no further damage. Runner leading away from second base with 2 down. The pitch swung on and popped up to deep center field. Going back on it is Robbins, still going back. It's over his head and off the wall. 1 run is in. Rounding second is McGowan, headed for third base. The throw in. Gilstrap has to come off the bag to field it. It's a stand-up triple for Scott McGowan, and Columbia County has the big first inning this time, leading it 3-0. Well, a pattern has developed for the Covington All-Stars. They either score a lot of runs in the first inning or they give up a lot of runs in the first. That happened against Moultrie the first time the two teams met, as they gave up 3 in the first inning. It turned out to be the difference in the game. Of course, last game they scored many, many runs of their own in the first inning, but here they've given up 3 early ones. Brian Powell, the hitter, takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. McGowan leads away from third base. Towns is going to throw over there. Not his best move over, and the runner is back in. Powell, right-handed batter with a close stance, swings and misses at an outside breaking ball. It's 0-2. Towns hasn't had that bad of an inning. He's had a lot of 0-2 counts. It's not like he's walking a lot of people. He did walk the first batter of the inning, but since then has not walked a batter. He's been ahead in the count most of the time. There's a strike 3 called on the outside corner. So for Michael Towns, he strikes out the side. All of them looking, but in between, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. Columbia County with the early lead, 3-0 as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. You're listening to our exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex here in Covington, Georgia on WGFS AM 1430. We'll be back right after this.
At Courtesy Ford in Conyers, we have started our year-end clearance early because we are overstocked by approximately $2 million with the best selection of new Ford cars and trucks in the area. If you are looking for a new car or truck, forget list price, forget 6% over invoice, forget $100 over invoice. At Courtesy Ford, you only pay factory invoice. For a pleasurable buying experience, visit the House of Courtesy, where we're never satisfied until you are. We're conveniently located just off I-20 East at exit 41 in Conyers.
Keeping a musical instrument in tune takes special skills. That's also true here at your City of Covington electric system. We are constantly fine-tuning our electric service to better meet your needs. Public power systems belong to the people they serve. Everyone has a say in how the utility can best serve the community. That makes a big difference in the rates you pay and the service you get. Because your City of Covington electric system stays in tune with your needs, it's one of the community's greatest assets. Look at public power in a new light. After all, it's yours.
Welcome back. We are back from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. We played half an inning. Covington has made their job, well, just a little bit tougher for tonight's matchup with the Columbia County All-Stars. They trail by 3 after half an inning. Here is your lineup for the All-Stars of Covington and Newton County. Kerry Gilstrap will lead it off. He'll be playing third base. Matt Schell, the second baseman, will bat second. Ryan Lee, the shortstop, bats third. Cedric Floyd will play first, and he will be the cleanup batter. Trey Robbins will bat fifth and play center field. Brandon Averett is the catcher, batting sixth. Michael Lemaster in left bats seventh. Michael Towns will pitch, and he will hit eighth. And Richard Stahl rounding out the lineup in right field and batting ninth. Kerry Gilstrap will lead it off. Right-handed batter had one very good game and one not-so-good game yesterday. Against Moultrie, he turned out 4 for 8, a 3 for 4 performance, and a 1 for 4. He takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. The defense for Columbia County around the infield, Lamar Leverett is the third baseman, playing in shallow. Brian Bacon at shortstop. Jeffrey Williams at second. Kevin Erndl at first. There's a line drive to center field. Brian Powell is there, though. Makes the catch as he was running back for the first out. That ball was well hit, and Powell was still backtracking as he made the play over his head for the first out. The outfield has Kent Logan in left, Brian Powell in center, and Scott McGowan in right. Will Anderson is the catcher, and T.J. Davis is on the hill. Gilstrap flies out. Matt Schell, the hitter, takes one outside, 1-0. Schell in the first game against Moultrie was 0 for 4. but then came back with a 2-for-3 performance in the nightcap. Swings and pops one up into shallow center field. Powell was going out. Now he comes in a few steps and makes the play. Two batters, two deep pop flies to center field, but the center fielder has been there for both of them, and now two outs quickly in the first.
Number 7, shortstop.
Ryan Lee, the shortstop, is going to be the next hitter here for the Covington All-Stars. Lee did some pitching in yesterday's action. Went 2-for-3 in that nightcap with a couple of singles and a couple of runs scored. He takes one for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Lee also had a hit in that first game, one of 6 Covington hits, but they couldn't come up with the victory. They lost that one 5-3. 0-1 pitch is high and outside. A ball and a strike. Going into the wind, and the pitch swung on and popped up foul territory, third base side. Leverett going back there, but won't have a play. A ball and 2 strikes against Ryan Lee. T.J. Davis, the right-hander for the All-Stars of Columbia County. Kind of a tall, lanky pitcher. We've seen pitchers who have had a lot of bulk, and we've seen the tall, skinny type as well. Many, many different deliveries, and the Covington hitters have seen many different pitchers with different deliveries in the tournament. The 1-2 pitch misses just a little high and outside, 2-2. Kevin Holden, your play-by-play announcer tonight. I'll be joined in a little while by Bill Dolan. We'll do some color commentary for you for this state championship game. The wind, the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Covington goes down 1-2-3 in the first inning. We've played one from City Pond Complex. Columbia County leads it 3-0. You're listening to our exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys World Series. Make that the state tournament from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, here on WGFS AM 1430. I'm one step ahead of myself. We'll be back after this.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Join the millions who save billions the annuity way. Your auto owner's insurance agent can show you a safe and systematic way to save. Auto owners no-load tax-deferred annuities credit high-interest earnings to your savings program. All auto owners' investments are of the highest quality. No junk bonds or real estate ventures. See your no-problem auto owner's agent and save the annuity way.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See the Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street, Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213.
Auto owners, the no-problem people.
And we are back from City Pond Complex. We played one full inning. Columbia County leading this one 3-0. They send up the 8 and 9 spots in the order, followed by the top of the order.
Number 7, Ryan Lee.
We're grabbing some changes here for the Newton County All-Stars.
32, Michael Towns.
Ryan Lee has come in to pitch. Michael Towns has gone to center field, and Kerry Gilstrap is now at shortstop,
Number 21, Trey.
and Trey Robbins is now at third. So those 4 changes. Trey Robbins was the center fielder. He moves to third base. Kerry Gilstrap, who was the third baseman, has now moved over to shortstop. Ryan Lee was at short. He's now into pitch, and Michael Towns, who was the pitcher for only the first inning, is your new center fielder. So Ryan Lee has finished taking his warm-up tosses. Lee was effective yesterday in his outing against Moultrie, and the Covington head coach, Dennis Lemaster, hoping for some more of that today. We'll give you the line on Towns as it becomes available. He did pitch 1 inning and give up 3 runs, and we will give you the rest of the details in just a moment. First, Kent Logan, the left fielder for Columbia County, will step to the plate against Ryan Lee. Lee's wind in his first pitch, a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Ryan Lee with one of the better fastballs on the club. Towns faced 7 hitters, giving up 3 runs, all of them earned. On 3 hits, he walked 1, and he struck out 3. Pitch is swung on and popped up into shallow right. It bounces just barely foul. 6 inches to the foul side of the chalk. Kent Logan nearly had himself a double, and the first baseman, Cedric Floyd, kind of jogging leisurely back toward that one. He was almost sure it was a foul ball, but he almost got tricked. He was lucky as the ball bounced just a couple of inches foul. So instead of being a two-base hit, it's a second strike. The 0-2 pitch is high with the fastball, 1-2. Ryan Lee picks up a lot of strikeouts with that high heat. The wind and the 1-2 pitch. A curveball which just missed a little bit high. It's 2-2. Two balls, two strikes the count. Logan awaits, and Lee delivers. Called strike three, inside corner. It was another one of those breaking balls that just dipped in over the outside corner. So far, every out for Columbia County has been by strikeout, and every strikeout has been called.
Number 6, pitcher,
T.J. Davis will be the hitter. The pitcher for Columbia County and the number 9 batter in the order. And after Davis, Columbia County moves back to the top of their batting order. First pitch is low, a ball, no strikes. Ryan Lee toying around with the front part of the mound. It may not be to his liking. That may have been why that first one was a little low of the strike zone. The wind, the 1-0 pitch, it's also low, 2-0. Davis checks his third base coach. Has the sign that he would like. Infield bunching a little toward third base. The pitch, a called strike. Again, the breaking ball comes across the plate, 2-1. So far, Ryan Lee has been able to throw the breaking ball for strikes, but has had a little trouble throwing the fastball for strikes. Unfortunately, as a pitcher, you'll get hurt if you have to depend on that breaking ball to throw your strikes all the time. It's 2-2. But of course, it's a smart adjustment by Ryan Lee, understanding that he's having trouble right now getting the fastball over and going to that breaking ball a little more. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch on the way. An off-speed pitch outside, and it goes full, 3-2. Kevin Erndl, the leadoff hitter, standing on the on-deck circle. The payoff pitch on the way, swung on and popped foul down the first base side and into one of the crepe myrtles down that way. Remains 3-2. A beautiful complex here at City Pond. Of course, it's overlooking the City Pond, the source of the water supply for the city of Covington and surrounding areas. But they've had a lot of work done to this field the last several years, and they've turned it into one of the finest facilities in the state of Georgia. I dare you to go anywhere and find a Dixie Boys facility that looks nicer than this one. The wind, the payoff pitch, swung on and popped up into right field. Stahl is there, now backs up and makes the play. It fooled him at first, but he did make the play for the second out. So Lee has gotten the first 2 men he has faced, and now he'll have to deal with the top of the order and Kevin Erndl, who walked and scored his first time.
number 11, first baseman, Kevin Erndl.
Erndl, a left-handed batter, and the first one that Lee has seen since coming into the game. Brandon Averett gives the sign. Ryan Lee winds, and he deals a little low and outside, but it's called a strike as Erndl was shortening up to bunt. It's 0-1. Erndl looked like he was trying to drag a bunt. Looks like he's been watching videotape of Brett Butler as he had his body movement going toward first base and trying to push that bunt either up the first base line or the third base line. Again, he was looking to bunt, but took one high, 1-1. Believe it or not, as it would seem more effective to bunt the ball down the third base line, sometimes it helps you to bunt it up the first base line, as the 1-1 pitch on the way had a feeble swing at it and missed 1-2. He must not have been looking breaking ball, which is exactly what the pitch was. But sometimes if you can push that bunt past the pitcher and toward the second baseman, you can beat it out, especially if you've got speed like that leadoff man, Kevin Erndl. The 1-2 pitch, a little low, 2-2. You see that from former Brave Otis Nixon quite a bit. Tries to push that bunt right past the pitcher and toward the second baseman. That's what he tried to do for the last out of the 92 World Series, so as you can see, it's not always successful. The wind, the 2-2 pitch. Checked his swing, Bounced it over toward first where Cedric Floyd caught it and stepped on the bag. 1-2-3 go the Columbia County All-Stars in the second inning. After an inning and a half of play, your score is Columbia County 3, Covington-Newton County nothing. You're listening to our exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex in Covington, right here on WGFS AM 1430. We'll be right back after this.
The all-new 95 Maxima is here. Come in and test drive this great car. We still have a few 1994 Maximas, the most popular Maxima ever. Factory to dealer incentives on 94 models help us to make you a great deal. If you like this terrific car, hurry in to get one of the few remaining new ones. Drive our 6-cylinder luxury Maxima for less than its competition. Great prices on both the 1994 and 1995. 95 models at under $22,000 with automatic power windows, locks, cruise, stereo cassette, air, and much more. Dual airbags, power seat, and remote security. This car is the value that the Maxima name implies. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Irish Drive in Conyers to test drive the all-new 95 Maxima. That's Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Irish Drive in Conyers, 922-7600.
Bottom half of the second inning from City Pond Complex. Covington sends the 4, 5, and 6 spots to the plate here as they try to rally back into this game, trailing by 3. Cedric Floyd, Trey Robbins, and Brandon Averett are the next 3 batters. And they'll be facing T.J. Davis and that Columbia County defense. Right now they're huddled at the mound. All the infielders, plus the catcher and the pitcher. 6 folks out there with a caucus at the mound. But they have their plans ready for the second inning, and they go back to their respective positions. They scatter back to their positions. And Cedric Floyd will be the first man up. The first baseman for the Covington All-Stars. Built kind of like you'd expect a first baseman to be built. He takes a pitch low and outside, ball 1. Usually your first baseman provides you with a lot of offense. That's exactly what's happened with Floyd. A tall, lanky, right-handed batter. The pitch to him, swung on, a hard cut, fouled off the catcher's mask. And back toward the screen, it's 1-1. Cedric Floyd was 2 for 4 in that big victory of Covington's last night, including a single, a double, and 2 runs scored. Covington pounded out 13 hits in that game. Only 2 went for extra bases, though. The pitch is high to Cedric Floyd. It's 2-1. The catcher, Will Anderson, gives the sign, the 2-1 pitch. Tried to check his swing at an outside pitch. He went around. It's 2-2. Floyd was looking for something else. He tried to check his swing, but he broke the wrist, and it's 2-2. T.J. Davis shakes off the sign, and now the 2-2 on the way. Grounded hard past the shortstop and into left field for a hit. Cedric Floyd swung down on that ball, a good plan. Pulling it and swinging down on it, producing that hard ground ball. The shortstop could never have caught up to it. It had topspin on it so that when it hit the ground, it spun in the other direction, out toward left field. That's a tough one for an infielder to catch up with. Cedric Floyd at first with nobody out. Cedric Floyd also had a double in that first game against Moultrie. So 2 extra base hits for him yesterday. And now Trey Robbins will be the hitter. He was moved down to the number 5 slot in the order for the second game against Moultrie. Went 1 for 1 with a walk. Both of those plate appearances coming in the first inning. There's a throw to first, and Floyd is back in. Robbins was 0 for 2 the first time out against Moultrie with a walk and a run scored. The pitch is a called strike near the outside corner, 0-1. Dennis LeMaster, the head coach of the Covington All-Stars, is down the third base line. One of the assistant coaches down the first base line, Orville Robbins and Wayne Harper, are the 2 assistant coaches for the Covington All-Stars. Stretch in the pitch, swung on and missed. He challenged him with some high heat. Robbins didn't catch up, 0-2. Brandon Averett on the on-deck circle. This has been the big topic of conversation throughout Covington for all the sports fans. As a throw goes to first base and a runner back in. The Covington-Newton County All-Stars didn't have to win any district tournaments or anything to make it to this state tournament, but they have certainly proven themselves worthy of being here. As there's a swing and a ground ball, misplayed by Leverett at third base, picked up by the shortstop, but all hands will be safe at first. An error charged to the third baseman, Lamar Leverett. He was right in front of the ball, but it just kicked off his mitt. And now first and second with nobody out, and all of a sudden here's a scoring opportunity for the Covington All-Stars, and we know how they take advantage of scoring opportunities if you look at the first inning last night. Brandon Averett, the hitter. Averett was 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and a run scored last night in the nightcap of their double dip. He was perfect in the first game, going 2 for 2 with a walk. He takes the first pitch low, ball 1. Cedric Floyd, the runner at second base, and Trey Robbins at first. Second baseman Jeffrey Williams right on top of that second base bag, holding Floyd close. If Averett could go the other way, he's got a big hole there. Pitch is inside to him and high, 2-0. First base bleachers packed with Covington-Newton County fans. All out here rooting for their home team. The host team that has a chance to be the most team as they win the tournament. Davis steps off and checks the runner at second base. But of course, to win the tournament, Covington will have to win this game. Each of these teams has one loss in the double elimination tournament. So this one game decides it all. There's a swing and a ground ball to short. Goes to second for 1. The throw to first will not be made. A good job from Robbins breaking up that double play, keeping Williams from throwing the ball to first. In fact, Robbins uprooted second base. Averett reaches on a fielder's choice. Trey Robbins retired 6-4 at second base, and with 1 down and runners at first and third, it's now Michael LeMaster with a chance to pick up an RBI, or maybe 2, or maybe even 3. The one thing that Covington wants to stay away from here is the double play. With a scoring shot like they have in this inning, they certainly want to pick up at least 1 run out of this. A 2-run lead is certainly not imposing at all. Really, a 3-run lead isn't, but once it gets to be 4 or above, it begins to look quite imposing. Stretch in the first pitch, swung on, grounded past the second baseman, who was coming to cover second on a hit and run. Floyd will score. Stopping at third base will be Averett. 3-1 your score now as Columbia County on top. What a well-executed play. Michael LeMaster is a left-handed batter, and the second baseman seemed to be charging in and towards second base. What was happening there was a runner took off for second. The second baseman was coming in to cut off a throw. The catcher would have thrown down to second, but the second baseman, being in front of the bag, would have cut the ball off to make sure that Floyd didn't score. Well, he left his position, and Michael LeMaster hit it exactly where he would have been. So with all that maneuvering of the defense, 1 run is in. And it's first and third with 1 down. And Michael Towns now the hitter. And again, you want to stay away from the double play and try to get that second run home. T.J. Davis fakes a pickoff throw to third, checks first, and for the 3,001st time in a row, the play doesn't work. Don't know if I've ever seen that work in person. There's a swing and a miss by Towns, 0-1. Of course, the purpose of a play where you fake a pickoff throw to third base is to see if that first base runner is stealing second with the pitch. But the first base runner, 9 times out of 10, can pick up the move to third. There's a bunt, popped up and back to the screen, foul. Covington got a break there. Towns popped that bunt up so high, if it had been even close to fair, then Leverett would have had a play at third base. The runners would never have been able to advance, and we would have had 2 down in first and third. So it's a good thing he was out in front with that bunt. Averett leads away from third, LeMaster from first. T.J. Davis to the belt, and his delivery high. Here goes a runner for second base, a fake throw down there. Catcher holds onto the ball to make sure that Averett doesn't go anywhere. LeMaster steals second, and now 2 runners in scoring position. It takes away the double play possibility. That's a smart play Of course, with a 0-2 count, it can also be very, very dangerous, as you could have a strike him out, throw him out. Stretch and the 0-2 pitch, line to center field. It falls in for a hit. 1 run will score. Being held at third base is LeMaster. Going back to third, he was held up, and then he decided for a second he might go, then held up a second time. And again, it was the sign of the third base coach, Dennis LeMaster, that held him at third base. Averett scored, and it's now 3-2. And again, it's first and third, runners at the corners, 1 down. Well, Covington is playing a game of first and third. They keep getting singles, and they keep advancing to first and third, and 1 run keeps scoring on every single base hit. Covington has put themselves back in, now trailing by only 1. Bottom half of the second inning with only 1 out. And we'll see what happens with Towns at first base. He may be going with the first pitch, and he is. It's taken for a strike. The throw down will not be made. And again, smart play from Dennis LeMaster and the Covington All-Stars, staying away from the double play, which is the rally killer, especially with 1 down. That ends the inning, and if any run were to score in the play, it would not count. Now any type of sacrifice fly or base hit to tie the game and possibly give Covington the lead if it's a base hit into the outfield. Richard Stahl swings and misses, and a pitch high up about eye level. It's 0-2. Stahl has been spelling Elton Harper the last couple of games out in right field and batting 9th in the order. Stretch in the 0-2 pitch over his head, and a good stop from the catcher. We almost had a tie ball game. A ball, 2 strikes. Will Anderson had to come out of the crouch and reach up as high as he could with that mitt. He just barely made the play. The shortstop, Brian Bacon, goes in for a word with his pitcher, T.J. Davis, then goes back to his position. Second baseman standing right on that bag, holding the runner, now goes back to his position. There's a swing and a miss by Stahl. He is gone. That's the second out of the inning. Stahl swung at 2 pitches in that at-bat that were well out of the strike zone, outside and high. And it will be up to the leadoff batter, Kerry Gilstrap, if Covington is to do any further damage here in the second inning. With runners at second and third and 2 down, Kerry Gilstrap fly down to center field his first time up last inning. T.J. Davis with an unusual stretch position. His stretch and pitch swung on and grounded hard past the shortstop into center. The game is tied, and here comes Michael Towns. The throw to the plate, not in time. Covington has the lead, 4-3. Gilstrap took second on the throw. The base hit scores 2, and Covington with 4 runs here in the second takes the lead and keeps that dream alive of going to Eufaula, Alabama, and the Dixie Boys World Series. Covington and Newton County knows a little something about the Dixie Boys World Series. After all, it was right here at City Pond Complex in '93, and the teams from all over the Southeast came here to Covington. They were able to put on a Dixie Boys World Series, a very successful tournament won by the folks from Bossier City, Louisiana. Here now, Covington has the lead. If they can hold on, then a year after hosting the tournament, they'll be involved in the tournament in Eufaula, Alabama, except this time, instead of being the host team, they'll be representing the state of Georgia. Columbia County's head coach went out and had a meeting at the mound with his pitcher and the majority of his infield. They have their signs straight. They know what to do now with a runner at second and 2 down. The hitter is Matt Schell. He hit a deep fly to center field his last time. Davis is still in there. He's to the belt and he delivers. Swung on and missed. And a good fastball, 0-1. Schell had a pitch to drive there, but he was just under it. Once again, Williams very close to that second base bag, giving a big, big hole between first and second if Schell wants to go the other way. The stretch, the pitch, he tried to, fouled it back to the screen. 0-2. That play on the part of the Columbia County team might not be a bad one. Trying to punch the ball the other way sometimes, if you aim the ball too much, you might end up missing or fouling a pitch off. That might be what they're trying to get Shell to do, giving him that big hole. He swings and grounds one to third base. It is a foul ball as Leverett fields it about a foot into foul territory. It remains 0-2. So far in this inning, the Covington All-Stars have 4 base hits, all of them singles. This Covington team doesn't hit much in the way of home runs, but they certainly bang out the base hits with them. 4 runs in this inning on 4 base hits. There's only been 1 error. And the person that reached on the error, Trey Robbins, was eventually retired at second base as part of a 6-4 force play. Davis's stretch and delivery swung on and popped up to left field. Kent Logan is there, parks himself under it, makes the catch. Covington goes down in the second inning, but they take the lead. 4 runs, 4 hits, and you can hear the ovation from the Covington crowd. 1 error by Columbia County and 1 runner left on base. We played 2 full innings from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, and the scoreboard looks good for the hometown fans. Your score is Covington 4, Columbia County 3. You're listening to our exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, right here on WGFS AM 1430, and we'll be back after this.
Hinton Plumbing of Covington wants you to know whatever your plumbing needs may be, whether you're tired of that dripping faucet or running commode or having well pump problems or need that water line or sewer line replaced, or maybe you're building that dream home and you need a good plumber. Whatever you may need, we at Hinton Plumbing have the personnel to take care of you. Just call us at 786-6282 from 7 until 5 or come by Hinton Plumbing at 4110 Robinson Street in Covington. See Eddie Hinton or Mike Costley for all those plumbing needs.
It's July's Best Buys of the Month going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware. A Lakewood 20-inch box fan, 3-speed portable fan, provides maximum cooling comfort, gray with white trim, only $13.96. An Intermatic variable event timer turns lights on and off at up to 4 slightly different times each day. You pay $4.99 minus a $3 rebate. The final cost is $1.99. That's July's Best Buys of the Month going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
And we're back from City Pond Complex. After 2 full innings, the Covington-Newton County All-Stars have taken the 1-run lead, 4-3 behind the pitching of Ryan Lee. And the hitting of the bottom part of the order, the folks that came through with the big base hits, were the 7 and 8 batters in the order, Michael LeMaster and Michael Towns. And that's what you've got to have to win, especially at this level. You've got to have hitting from all 9 spots of your order. You can't expect the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to get it done all the time. You've got to have hitting from the bottom end, and that is what Covington has. There in the second inning, scoring those 4 runs on 4 base hits. LeMaster and Towns getting involved with singles, driving in 1 run each. In the third inning, Columbia County sends up Will Anderson, Jeffrey Williams, and Lamar Leverett, the 2, 3, and 4 spots in their batting order. Ryan Lee will be out there for his second full inning of work. Meeting at the mound of all of the infielders who now go back to their positions. And Will Anderson leads it off, having struck out his first time. He struck out looking.
Number 13, catcher, Will Anderson.
Anderson stands very, very close to the plate, and he takes the first pitch for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Anderson's front foot 6 inches or less from the tip of home plate as the wind, the 0-1 pitch to him, swung on and missed. Another outside pitch, 0-2. Usually a batter shows his weakness by the type of stance that he has. If he stands very close to the plate, he's vulnerable to the outside pitch normally, and if he stands far away, he's vulnerable to the inside pitch. Ryan Lee might be picking that up, and that's why Anderson's seeing nothing but outside stuff. The wind, the 0-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back to the top of the screen. It remains 0-2 as Anderson just gets a piece of the 0-2 fastball. Twelve teams began this one 7 days ago. A double elimination tournament. 23 games have been played. This is the 23rd. And 10 teams have been eliminated, and tonight an 11th one will go down, and that last remaining team will be crowned the Georgia State champion, and will move on to Eufaula, Alabama, And a week from Saturday, they will play in the World Series. Swinging a foul back to the screen by Anderson. A strong fastball right down the pipe. 0-2. Three runs on 3 hits for the Columbia County All-Stars. Covington Newton County has 4 runs on 4 hits. Lee's wind and his delivery is low. Anderson thought about going around on it, but checked his swing at the last second. The count is 1-2. Averett's sign. Here comes the wind. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and bounced foul at the plate. And again, it remains 1-2. This has been a tremendous at-bat from Will Anderson. Of course, now it can go either way. And it would be a big momentum boost for the All-Stars of Columbia County if Anderson, after battling and battling and battling, picks up the base hit. Of course, it could be a big boost for Covington if after this big-time battle, he strikes out. The wind. The 1-2 pitch. High, 2-2. This definitely has been a battle of wits between Ryan Lee and Will Anderson. By far the best at bat of this game. Several foul balls. Anderson has just been able to stay alive. The wind, the 2-2 pitch. Did he check his swing on it? They'll check the first base ump, who says he went. Strikeout number 5 for Covington pitching. The second one for Ryan Lee in an inning and 2/3 of work. So far, since coming in, it's an inning and 1/3 of work. He's faced 4 batters. Struck out 2. He's gotten 1 ground ball and 1 pop fly. And Jeffrey Williams steps to the plate. He singled and scored in the first inning after stealing a base. Of course, the stolen base was sandwiched between the single and the run scored. The first pitch on the way to him, and it's high with the fastball, 1-0. After Williams is big Lamar Leverett, and the All-Stars of Covington would rather face him without anyone on base, but they won't, as there's a line drive in the left for a base hit. So there will be a runner on, just as we say that. They didn't want to face him with anyone on, but they will have to now. Lamar Leverett, a strikeout victim, his first time to the plate. Here is a guy that could easily give Columbia County the lead with 1 swing of the bat. If you had to put your money on someone to hit a home run in tonight's game, Lamar Leverett would be your man. Several big home runs in the tournament. Leverett, a big left-handed batter. The stretch by Lee. He steps off and fires to first base, but Williams is back in there safely. Runner at first, 1 out for the All-Stars of Columbia County here in the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss by Leverett at an outside pitch, 0-1. Lamar Leverett with a very sweet swing, has a little bit to learn about swinging at the outside pitch. Looks like Leverett is attempting to pull everything, thinking about that home run every time up there. Eventually, he'll learn to take that outside pitch the other way. Runner heads for second, pitches outside, the throw down, not in time. The throw bounced in front of second base. And the shortstop, Kerry Gilstrap, had to pull the tag down after catching the ball about 1.5 feet off the ground. He had to come down and tag Williams. He might have had a shot had the throw not bounced. But Williams gets a stolen base, and he's in scoring position now with only 1 down in the inning, and the numbers 4 and 5 batters in the order with a chance to drive him in. Columbia County wears a baby blue and white uniform. Covington with the green and black uniforms. Swung on and missed by Leverett, but it gets by the catcher Averett. Moving over to third base on the play is Jeffrey Williams. That'll be a pass ball on Brandon Averett, who continues to struggle a little bit behind the plate. That's happened to him several times in the last 3 to 4 games. Now we'll runner at third and 1 down, but a 1-2 count against Leverett. Lee with the stretch. The 1-2 pitch is high with that fastball, 2-2. That's exactly what he was looking for, the strikeout on the high fastball. Leverett wasn't biting. The 2-2 pitch swung on and popped foul out of play, third base side, and the fans will scramble for the souvenir, and they'll be able to redeem that at the concession stand for a free Coke. Remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. 4-3 your score as Covington, after giving up 3 runs in the first, scores 4 of their own in the second to reclaim the lead. Now a new baseball is Lee at second. The pitch to Floyd, swung on and missed. He looked like he was taking a shot at right field there, 2-1. Every time there's a runner at second base, Jeffrey Williams is right at the second base bag instead of at his normal position at second. And it opens up a big, huge gap against the right-handed batter. There's a called strike on the inside corner, 2-2. It does keep that runner close to second base, keeps him from attempting a steal of third. It also might make a force play at third possible if it were first and second. Stretch and the pitch. He was falling off the mound was Davis. The pitch got by the catcher. Now he throws to second and he is out. Ryan Lee went about halfway down the baseline. Will Anderson had to go 10 or 15 feet to his right to retrieve the ball down by the first base dugout. Saw that Ryan Lee was about halfway between the bases, fired down there, and the second baseman Williams applied the tag. So Lee is picked off. 2-4 in your scorebook, and now 1 down and nobody on. And the pitch is high to Floyd, so just as they pick one runner off, they put another one on. The first walk from T.J. Davis. The cleanup batter, Cedric Floyd, the recipient of the base on balls, and Trey Robbins will be the hitter.
21, third baseman, Trey Robbins.
Robbins reached on an error his first time, and he was retired 6-4 at second base. Davis will go over to first, but back in is Cedric Floyd. He had taken about a 1.5 step lead there. Hadn't even taken his full lead at first. Dennis LeMaster has called time, and he is having a lengthy discussion with Trey Robbins, giving him some instructions. There may be some instructions on how to push this runner along. 1 down, a runner at first base. Robbins could be trying to sacrifice, but with a bat that big, you would doubt it. First pitch to him is low and inside with a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Robbins started the game in center field, but then when the pitching change was made in the second, he moved to third base. The stretch, the throw instead to first. And once again, Floyd is back in, standing up. Field 1 and Field 2, the site of lots of games during this state tournament, but Field 1, the field of choice, as the 1-0 pitch is high, 2-0. If they had a choice between playing on Field 1 and playing on Field 2, they've chosen 1 every time out so far. This was also where the championship games were played last year. There's a swing and a line drive into center field for a base hit. It was hit so hard that Floyd had to stop at second base. The ball got to the center fielder, Brian Powell, almost immediately. In fact, he might have almost had a play at Floyd at second base. Certainly Floyd wasn't going to try to advance to third on that single to center field. Now first and second with 1 down, Brandon Averett will be the hitter, reaching on a fielder's choice last time, coming around to score on a single by Michael Towns. Averett has a close stance, could poke it at right field, instead hits it toward left, and it's in for a base hit. Rounding third is Cedric Floyd. The throw has been cut off, and it is 5-3. The Covington All-Stars have the lead. Good base running from Cedric Floyd, coming around to score on that base hit. Well, the Covington All-Stars are 1 step closer to Eufaula, Alabama, and the Dixie Boys World Series. What an exciting event to happen, that the host team has a chance to win this tournament. Columbia County's head coach has gone out to visit the mound, and we're going to see a couple of changes. We're going to try to get those changes, and we'll be back with them. There will be a pitching change. We know that much, and while that pitching change happens, we'll take this time out. Our coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex continues right after this.
There once was a lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she knew not what to do. So to Newton Federal Savings and Loan she went and found out that she did not have to rent. She was told of an affordable real estate loan and moved out of the shoe and into a home.
At Newton Federal, a real estate loan to fit your budget is as simple as a nursery rhyme. We lead you all the way through the process, making it easy to understand with helpful, knowledgeable service. You can get into the home you really want if you first get into Newton Federal. With affordable rates and a finance plan to fit most any budget, our real estate loans are the keys to the house of your dreams. Come see how we're leading the way.
For all that you do at work or play, you know we'll be leading the way.
Newton Federal Savings and Loan, leading the way at 3175 Highway 278, Covington. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
3 changes that we can spot for Columbia County here in the 3rd inning. Here are the changes that we have. Scott McGowan has come in to pitch. He was in right field. T.J. Davis, who was the pitcher, moves to first base. And Kevin Erndl, who was the first baseman, has moved to right field. They're announcing these changes over the public address system. That's Ricky Lunsford, the public address announcer here at City Pond Complex for the championship game of the state tournament. And those are the 3 changes that we have. So after giving up 3 base hits and a walk here in the 3rd inning, T.J. Davis is lifted. He went 3+ innings, facing a total of 15 batters. So far, he's given up 5 runs. They've all been earned on a total of 7 base hits. He walked only 1 batter and struck out 2, but the 2 runners on base are his responsibility, so the book on him is not yet closed. Michael Lemaster will be the hitter. Pardon the pun, but he had a masterful base hit his last time up, driving in a run. Poking the ball right towards second base, where the second baseman had just come out of position to field a throw from the catcher to second base. Robbins leading away from second and Averett from first. Lemaster the hitter. The stretch, McGowan's delivery swung on, grounded toward third. Leverett will take it, his only play to first. It's by the first baseman. 1 run will score. Averett is going to be held at third base. At second is Lemaster. On the error by the third baseman, Lamar Leverett. It's his second in as many innings. And it is 6-3, the Covington Newton County All-Stars on top. Lamar Leverett may be a bit inexperienced at third base. That could be the only way that they can get his big bat in the lineup. He's made 2 errors in as many innings. He's had some other troubles earlier in the tournament with errors. And now second and third because of that error. That run is charged really to no one. It's T.J. Davis's run, but it's not earned as there's a called strike to Michael Towns, 0-1. So it's 6 runs now, but 5 of them earned. Still only 1 out in the inning. Stretched by McGowan, his pitch, a called strike outside corner. It's now 0-2. Scott McGowan came in, got the first one to ground weakly to third base, but Lamar Leverett with the errant throw, scoring 1. And now 2 more runners in scoring position. Stretch in the pitch, he swung on and missed. Michael Towns goes down, wasn't really close to the 2-strike offering, which was well off the outside corner. 2 down, and without the error from Leverett, they'd be out of the inning with the Columbia County All-Stars. But that's what happens when you give a team 4 outs in an inning, especially when they're a quality team like this Covington Newton County team. They will take advantage. Richard Stahl, the number 9 batter, swings and misses at 1. It's 0-1. Same pitch as the 2-strike offering to Michael Towns. It was off the outside corner, but it was a fastball. Stahl is ready to go. Stretching the pitch to him, swung on and missed. Same pitch, same spot, same result, 0-2. Stahl appears to be pulling his head and the front part of his body off of the ball when he's swinging. He will try one more time. He struck out his first time up and in a deep hole here. Runners away from second and third. Stretching the pitch. Swung on and popped up into left center field. Brian Powell comes over. He will make the play. That is the third out of the inning. But in the inning, Covington pads the lead with 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error by Columbia County, and 2 men were left on base. We played a full 3 innings with your score. Covington 6, Columbia County 3. You're listening to our exciting coverage of the Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex here in Covington, Georgia on WGFS AM 1430. And we'll be right back after this.
If you hate high energy bills, then call Bryant to the rescue with energy-efficient air conditioning and Bryant variable speed plus 90i gas furnaces. Buy now and get 6 months same as cash financing. Let a Bryant professional save you energy and money year-round. Call James Hayes at Air Conditioning Specialist. Bryant Energy-Wise Gas Heating and Cooling. More efficient, cost less naturally.
Call Bryant and rescue me, rescue me.
The folks at Henderson's Restaurant invite you to join them for dinner tonight. How about some of their famous catfish, fried chicken, barbecue, vegetable plates, steaks, burgers, and fries? Don't worry about what's in the pantry or whose turn it is to do the dishes. Just go to Henderson's Restaurant, just 5 miles from the square on Highway 36 in Covington. Henderson's is open Friday and Saturday from 4 to 10 and Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9. Don't forget to join us for Sunday dinner 11 to 8:30.
And we're back from City Pond Complex. We are almost halfway home. We played 3 full innings. Your score is 6-3. The Covington-Newton County All-Stars on top. The catcher, Brandon Averett, had some equipment problems as Brandon Averett goes back to the first base dugout. He was on base in the last inning, so it took him a little while to strap on that catcher's equipment. That is why we have the delay here in the 4th. But in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, picking up those 2 runs, thanks to a base hit on the first pitch of the inning by Ryan Lee. He then stole second but was promptly picked off. Then the next pitch, T.J. Davis walked Cedric Floyd. Floyd advanced to second on a single by Trey Robbins, came around to score on a single by Brandon Averett. That advanced Robbins to second. Then an error by the third baseman scored Robbins and put runners at second and third. But then the relief pitcher, Scott McGowan, buckled down to retire Michael Towns and Richard Stahl and finish up that 3rd inning. Due up for the Columbia County All-Stars in the 4th inning will be McGowan, Powell, and Logan. Batters number 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order. The throw goes down to second base by Brandon Averett. And here we are set to begin the 4th inning. McGowan started the game in right field, but last inning moved into pitch as Erndl, the leadoff batter, moved to right field. And T.J. Davis moved to first base. Scott McGowan tripled off of the center field wall his last time to the plate. Kevin Holden, your play-by-play announcer this evening. So far it's been good news if you're a Covington fan, not so good news if you're a Columbia County fan. First pitch is low, 1-0. Didn't appear to start that way. Looked like things might not go Covington's way tonight. Columbia County had 2 early runs, make that 3 early runs, but since then Covington has had 6 unanswered runs. The 1-0 pitch low and outside, 2-0. I'll be joined soon by Bill Dolan, who'll give you some color commentary on tonight's matchup, as Covington looks to go to the World Series in Eufaula, Alabama. The 2-0 pitch just missing a little low. 3 balls, no strikes. A cripple count, and the pitch, a called strike. It caught the outside corner, 3-1. Since that first inning, and since the pitching change, Columbia County has been held to only 1 hit, the single from Williams. There's a swing and a drive to deep center field. Robbins goes back, though, and makes the play close to the track for the first out. That ball was hit hard, hit well, and hit deep, but Robbins was playing fairly deep and did make the play.
Number 24, center fielder, Brian
Brian Powell is now the hitter. How now, Brian Powell? He struck out his first time. Powell, the center fielder for the Columbia County All-Star team. And a right-handed batter digs in and takes the first one on the outside corner for strike one. Just like this tournament, 12 teams will end up in that Dixie Boys World Series in Eufaula, Alabama. Another called strike on an off-speed pitch, 0-2. Lee has shown a remarkable ability to throw that breaking ball for strikes. That's very important. Don't want to do it too much, but when you can, it's a benefit for you. The 0-2 swung on, grounded toward third. Good play by the third baseman. His throw to first is in the dirt, and Floyd couldn't dig it out. The throw was low, and Powell reaches on the air. We'll give the air to the third baseman on the throw, even though the first baseman probably should have dug that one out. Runner at first, one down.
Number 3, left fielder.
Kent Logan will now be the hitter, the left fielder for the Columbia County team, a strikeout victim back in the second. So the E5 puts a man on with one down. Lee checks the runner now to the belt, and now he'll go to first base. And back in safely is Brian Powell. Averett setting up outside. The first pitch is right there on the outside corner for strike one. One down. Columbia County trying to push runs across, trailing by 3. They've got a couple of more cracks. There's a swing and a foul tip held onto by the catcher. For strike two, the throw to first by the catcher, Brandon Averett, but back in safely is Brian Powell. It's 0-2 against Kent Logan, and T.J. Davis is on the on-deck circle. There's a swing and a miss, and down on strikes is Kent Logan. And now it looks like we're going to see a pinch hitter, and we will. It's Wesley Kendricks coming in and pinch hitting for Davis. So Wesley Kendricks will be the batter here in the fourth.
Number 9.
With 2 down and a runner at first.
Kendricks.
Interesting move, pinch hitting with 2 down in the inning. Of course, T.J. Davis can re-enter the game, and he may just do that. Brian Powell at first base, ready to take his lead. And Kendricks, the pinch hitter, coming in cold in a state championship game. That's got to be a nervous experience. Throw to first base, back in safely, is the first base runner, and he uprooted the first base bag on his way. This year, in the state tournament, they've got those type bags that eject out of their base when you slide into them head first or just slide in with a regular slide. That'll save on injuries. But those bases have to be put back in their holes probably 3 or 4 times a game. And in the case of second base, where there's a lot of sliding, maybe even more. Throw goes over to first, and again, Powell is back in. Kendricks takes one outside. The throw to second base, and they got him. Powell was taken off for second base, but that throw right on the money from Brandon Averett. Caught stealing 2-6 as the shortstop Gilstrap took the throw. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We're halfway home with your score. Covington 6, Columbia County 3. You're listening to our exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament. Can Covington receive a berth in the Dixie Boys World Series in Eufaula, Alabama? We'll be back to check right after this.
For all your lawn and garden needs, go to Coast to Coast Home and Auto. They have the latest in snapper garden equipment. You get the quality of snapper, and also you get trade-ins on snapper lawn care products. And they have an Easy Snap credit payment plan also available. Go to Coast Home and Auto for all your lawn and garden needs. Parts, pickup, service, and delivery available at Coast to Coast Home and Auto. Coast to Coast in downtown Covington.
At Home Video in Newton Plaza, we rent 3 movies for 3 days for $3. Now, who in town can beat that? Nobody. Also, at Home Video, rent 3 new releases and get 2 other rentals free. Senior citizens get a 10% discount every Wednesday, and they have many previously viewed movies for sale under $10. At Home Video, we're the home of 3 for 3. Come by and see us in Newton Plaza. We're busting the prices all over the block at Home Video.
Welcome back to City Pond Complex. We did half of the game with one announcer. Well, in the second half of this game, you're going to be treated to the dynamic duo. Rejoining me for the second half of tonight's broadcast, the person without whom the dynamic duo could never be possible, Bill Dolan. Bill, so far, Covington has picked up those 6 runs after quickly falling behind, and right now you can sense the momentum in Covington's corner.
Looks real good right now, Kevin. I've been listening to the broadcast, just able to get away and get here. Always a pleasure to sit beside you in the broadcast booth. Let's bring home a winner and head to Alabama.
Bill, you told me you saw someone get picked off on that fake to third throw to first play, didn't you?
That's true. I was listening to your broadcast, and I wanted to call you and make a comment on it. It happened earlier this year. Mark Lemke, of all people, was picked off of first base on it. The Braves were playing the Cardinals, and they tried the fake throw to third and throw to first and picked Lemke off.
Now, I've seen it on the highlight reel a couple of times where Alan Wiggins has gotten picked off. Now, there are a couple of changes here, and we will pick these changes up here.
Now playing third base,
Will Anderson is the new pitcher, and we're picking up the other changes as we go. We see Wesley Kendricks behind the plate. Will Anderson was the catcher, but moved out to the mound. There are 2 other defensive changes as Kent Logan has moved in to play third base, and Lamar Leverett, who had some serious problems really in the second and third inning at third base, is now out in left field. And, Bill, that's one of the reasons, really, not taking anything away from Covington's rally, but he had an error in both of the innings in which Covington scored, the second and the third.
Right, I noticed that last inning the error was really critical. It could have been a scoreless inning if it weren't for the error. And like you were commenting, you give a team with some offensive firepower 4 outs, and they're going to burn you every time.
Covington has a team average of .302 so far in the tournament, led by Matt Schell, who's hitting about .550 in the tournament. So I would give that credit for a team that has offensive firepower. I think you could qualify Covington under that name.
Absolutely.
Kerry Gilstrap will lead it off for the Covington All-Stars here in the bottom half of the 4th. And, of course, the crowd has a little extra life with their team up 3 runs. They can taste that World Series berth coming up. Gilstrap flied out to center field his first time, singled in the second, his second time up there, and was stranded at second base. They say he went around on a pitch high and outside. Gilstrap tried to lay off, but the home plate umpire punched him out on that one. It's 0-1.
Pitched pretty far high and outside. It looked like he was looking for something else, tried to hold up, wasn't able to do so. Did appear that he committed himself to me.
Into the wind goes Will Anderson, and his pitch is swung on and bounced on 2 hops to Brian Bacon. He makes a good play. His throw not in time. And safe at first base will be Kerry Gilstrap, and we'll see how they score it. Probably a base hit.
I believe it would be a base hit. He was just about to the bag. The shortstop had to wait on the ball. A perfect throw would have had him, but it was close enough. I think we can call it a base hit, Kevin.
And there are a couple of other changes. We were given the changes in the incorrect order. Lamar Leverett is actually at first base, and T.J. Davis, who was at first, moves to right field. So those are your changes for Columbia County. We'll go through the defense, which has changed an awful lot in the last couple innings. We'll go through it in a moment. First pitch high, runner heads for second, and the throw down is not in time. Gilstrap steals second on the first pitch.
He was breaking right away, got a real good jump on the ball. The catcher had a good pitch to handle, bounced it down there on 1 hop. Even a perfect throw I don't think would have got him. He appeared to have that one stolen off the pitcher.
Here's your defense now for Columbia County around the outfield. T.J. Davis is now in left. Brian Powell in center. Kevin Erndl is the right fielder. Kent Logan is now at third base. Brian Bacon at shortstop. Jeffrey Williams at second base. The first baseman is Lamar Leverett. Wesley Kendricks has taken over behind the plate, and Will Anderson is on the mound. They call time just to let us do that. You know that, don't you? The stretch and the pitch to Matt Schell, swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That ball was up in his eyes. They lit up as he went after it, but that was too high. It was such a bad pitch. It was actually that far out of strike zone where he couldn't hit it.
Gilstrap leading away from second base. As Anderson comes to the stretch position, he steps off and checks second, where Gilstrap dives head first back into the base, and this time he didn't uproot it from its base. We've seen that happen several times on folks that dive back into the base. Anderson to the belt, and his delivery high on an off-speed delivery, 2-1.
Covington basically just needs to keep driving on and get some more runs and keep building on the lead. They don't want to get complacent and sit on just a 3-run lead, because that's really not a safe lead at this point in time.
Certainly not. We've seen bigger ones blown in this tournament. Pitch is outside. Count goes to 3 balls and a strike to Matt Schell, who was 0 for 2. 2 deep flyouts. He's been under the ball both times. Flight out to center and flight out to left. He would take the base on balls, and they would have 2 runners on with no one out if one more wide one came in. The 3-1 on the way, swung on and popped up, this time to shallow right field. Second baseman can't find it. It's in for perhaps a base hit, perhaps an error. We'll see the scoring. Moving to third base is Gilstrap. Matt Schell standing at first base. All right, our official score, Bill Dolan. What do you score it?
Well, that's a true Texas leaguer. That fell over the infielder's head, in front of the outfielder's head. Just one of those lucky breaks where it lands in between. Base hit.
Covington has gotten a lot of good breaks the last couple of games in addition to their skillful hitting, and they've been able to pick up the victories because of it. Ryan Lee is going to be the hitter. Lee takes practice swings left-handed, then steps into the right-handed batter's box to swing.
Little strange. On that previous play, the right fielder, had he come up immediately with the ball and thrown to third, I believe he would have had a shot at getting him down at third, but he just kind of nonchalantly picked it up to come back in. I guess he didn't believe the runner was going.
Well, this Covington team certainly is aggressive on the base paths. We have learned that throughout the tournament. Throw to first base. Schell is back in safely.
You got to probably believe Schell's running on the play, don't you?
More than likely. They had a lot of folks going for second base with that first and third situation in the second inning. And there's your fake throw to third and your look to first.
So for the 3,302nd time
live,
it doesn't make it.
You might see it on the highlight reel. That's about it. Stretch and the pitch. Maybe it hit him. I believe it did. It did hit him. Looked like it hit him on the inside of his left arm, near the rib cage on the left side. And the bases will be loaded here with no one out for Covington in the fourth, and they could really put this one on ice with a strong inning here.
Now's the time to make sure, especially with no outs, you definitely got to. Floyd has to drive this ball and at least get it out of the infield. This is the critical batter right now. They've got to score here with no outs. The infield's coming all the way in, so anything hard should get through.
And Cedric Floyd swings hard and misses at the first one, 0-1. As a cleanup batter tonight, he has 1 for 1 with a walk and 2 runs scored, and was looking for 4 big RBIs there. The wind by Anderson, his pitch inside, 1-1.
With Anderson's lack of control, Floyd can really kind of sit and wait more for his pitch. I haven't really seen too many called strikes. The strikes he seems to have gotten have been swings and misses.
The wind, the 1-1 on the way, swung on and popped up into left field. This might get a run home. Under it is Davis. He makes the catch. Tagging at third base is Gilstrap. Here's the throw. It's not in time as it gets by. Both of the other runners can move up a base. Kind of poor fundamentals on the part of Columbia County. Usually a very well-coached and very good fundamental team, but they've had some fundamental mistakes tonight.
That's true. On that play, Kevin, basically you're probably not going to throw that runner out, and the throw missed the cutoff man. Besides, normally you would go ahead at that deep and throw to third base, keep the runners from advancing, and keep the double play in order. Now you've got runners in second and third both in scoring position, 1 run home, and still only 1 out.
And Trey Robbins will be the batter as a fake throw to third base, and right there at the bag is Matt Schell. Anderson's wide and his first pitch on the way to Trey Robbins, swings and bounces it foul down the third base side. Trey Robbins opened his stance way up and bounced it right off a home plate down that third baseline.
Just did trickle foul. Had it stayed fair, I believe it probably would have been a base hit, because the third baseman wasn't real close to it, and I don't think he would have been able to throw him out on it.
That was an unusual creature that just flew by there. We've had some twin-engine jobs up here during the tournament. The crepe myrtles and the Coke syrup caused that to happen as the pitch is inside, a ball and a strike to Trey Robbins.
I wasn't sure what that was. I thought somebody had thrown a net up at us or something.
Just like played at old Colt Stadium in Houston. Stretch by Anderson and his pitch. Swung on and missed by Robbins. went after a high pitch near his eyes, 1-2.
Once again, helping the pitcher out there, going after that high fastball. It looks good, but when you can see it that well up in your eyes, it's going to be real difficult to hit. And he really isn't throwing that many strikes. If they lay off these, they could probably be getting a few more Annie Oakleys.
That, for those of you who don't know baseball garb, is a base on balls as the 1-2 pitch is high and outside, 2-2. You receive a baseball lesson when you listen to the Dixie Boys Radio Network. Every night. Shell takes his lead away from third. Ryan Lee leading off of second. There's a swing and a miss by Robbins. Pulled his head out and uppercutted just a little bit on that one. He goes down for the second out.
Speaking of lessons, Kevin, we hope everyone will tune in tomorrow morning because we got a special treat on the Saturday morning Super Trivia Spectacular. We're going to have a Super Trivia question tomorrow with a special prize.
And what is that special prize?
It's going to be donated by the Hard Luck Cafe. It's going to be a 60-piece hot wing.
First pitch, a called strike to Brandon Aver at 0-1, and I guess since I'm a co-host, I'm not eligible.
Sorry about that, unless you want to go in the other room and disguise your voice and call in.
Oh, well, I think you'd probably know if I did that. That would be the only problem. Anderson to the belt, his delivery. Almost hit him inside with the fastball, 1-1. A ball and a strike to the Covington catcher, Brandon Averett, who is 1 for 2, a single, a fielder's choice, and a run scored. The trivia show can be heard between 9 and 10 every Saturday morning on WGFS. Stretch and pitch, swung on and popped up, foul territory, first base side. Lamar Leverett comes back into fair territory to make the play, and that is the end of the fourth inning for the All-Stars of Covington. They pick up 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, a couple of runners left on base, and after 4 innings of play, your score now 7-3 in favor of the Covington All-Stars. You are listening to our coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia, right here on WGFS AM 1430, and we'll be back after this.
Our City of Covington electric system marches to the beat of a different drummer. The difference is community ownership. Because it's public power, our consumers and owners determine the cadence for electrical service in this community. Everyone here is a utility owner. Public power systems are not run for profit. That means all the benefits stay in our community. Local control also means that everyone has a say in how our electric utility can help meet our community's goals. That's consumer protection at its best. Look at public power in a new light. After all, it's yours.
At Courtesy Ford in Conyers, we have started our year-end clearance early because we are overstocked by approximately $2 million with the best selection of new Ford cars and trucks in the area. If you are looking for a new car or truck, forget list price, forget 6% over invoice, forget $100 over invoice. At Courtesy Ford, you only pay factory invoice. For a pleasurable buying experience, visit the House of Courtesy, where we're never satisfied until you are. We're conveniently located just off I-20 East at exit 41 in Conyers.
City Pond Complex, the state finals of the Dixie Boys, as the winner will head to the World Series. The news is good for the hometown team with a 7-3 lead. And Kevin Holden, as I look out into the stands, I believe I see the #1 fan of the Newton County Rams. In fact, the man who named the Rams, Mr. J. Holt Branham.
He's not just the #1 fan of the Newton County Rams. He's the #1 fan of all of Newton County baseball. He's right here at the Dixie Boys State Tournament watching his team in action. And, of course, we appreciate his being out and supporting us on the broadcast here at WGFS. Not just the Newton County Rams, but also the Dixie Boys Radio Network and our other broadcasts as well.
Absolutely. He has become the fan of the dynamic duo also, I believe.
I think you could easily say that. Brandon Averett, as he was hitting last in that last inning, had to go back to the dugout to pick up some equipment, so that's why the delay here in the 5th inning. And in this 5th inning, Columbia County sends up positions 1, 2, and 3, make that 9, 1, and 2 in the order. That #9 batter, Kendricks, was batting. I had a count on him, and then Powell was caught stealing to end that inning, so Kendricks has a fresh count here in the 5th. Really, that was a double disadvantage last inning for Columbia County. Powell was caught stealing, and instead of having the #9 batter, even if he got out, you'd have the leadoff man leading off the inning in the 5th, but because of the caught stealing, they have a third out, plus they have the #9 man up here.
Really kind of surprising that they sent him on that play, particularly down by the 3 runs at the time and with 2 outs.
Kendricks, a right-handed batter. Ryan Lee still out there. His first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
Good fastball there, good location, outside corner at the knees.
the sign, the Y, the 0-1. And it catches the outside corner. Looked like a carbon copy, just like we're watching a repeat. It's 0-2.
I guess he's going to swing the bat, isn't he?
Maybe somewhere along the way. If he sees another one in that spot, he'll probably swing. Of course, they'll throw it farther outside. And there it was on the outside corner, strike 3, same pitch. And Wesley Kendricks basically watched 3 of them go by in the same spot.
They were very close to the same pitch. The last one appeared to be just a little bit higher up, just a tad above the waist, but in the true strike zone. Perhaps it probably would have been high in the major leagues, but it was called a strike. It was a good pitch. With 2 strikes, you definitely got to be hacking away at that one.
That strike zone expands with 2 strikes. Usually the pitcher has that advantage with the 0-2 count, and Lee took advantage. Kevin Erndl will be the batter. Trying to bunt at the first offering. It was an off-speed pitch breaking down and away, or actually down and in, and he couldn't catch up. It's 0-1.
And like what we talked about night before last, normally you try to bunt a strike. That was a ball. Now he's in the hole 0-1.
It started a strike, but by the time it reached the hitter, it was well out of the strike zone. The pitch took a half swing, swung on and missed. That's the second time today he's done that, kind of swinging half-heartedly at the ball, kind of like he's poking at it.
It looked like he was bailing out on it, too. I don't know if he was sure what he was trying to do.
0-2 the count. Lee's pitch swung on, bounced foul down the third base side. It remains 0-2. And again, Erndl did not follow through on that swing. Took a little bit more than half a swing.
Appeared to really kind of chop at that one, try to pound down on it, almost as if he were playing on AstroTurf.
Kevin Erndl doing his best Brett Butler imitation, or Otis Nixon, as the 0-2 pitch high and tight. It's 1-2. We've seen Erndl try to bunt a couple of times and take those really short, compact swings, trying to get that body out of the box and hit it toward first. Called strike 3. Brian Lee throws a breaking ball that comes over the plate in just the right spot, and Erndl goes down.
One of the better-looking breaking balls I've seen so far out here, Kevin. That one had a bit of bite to it and really fooled him at the plate. It broke in and did catch that corner about the high level. It was a pretty good pitch.
Covington now only 7 outs away from a berth at the Dixie Boys World Series in Eufaula, Alabama. The host team with a chance to win the tournament. Wind and the pitch. High, 1 ball, no strikes. And of those other 11 teams, of course, you'll have the host team from Eufaula. But outside of them, I wonder how many of those other teams won their state tournaments being the host team of the state tournament. I'll bet you very few, if any. There's a swing and a drive to deep left field. But back there and parked under it is Michael LeMaster, and he makes the play. And that's the 3rd out of the inning, as many of the players in the outfield thought there were 2 outs. LeMaster threw it back in, jogged back to his position, then finally jogged in and realized it was the 3rd out.
It was the 3rd out. It was a loud out, but once again, just an out, and it looks the same in the scorebook.
No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base for Columbia County, and we played 4.5 with Newton County and Covington, the All-Stars on top, 7-3 over Columbia County. You are listening to our exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex right here in Covington, Georgia, right up the road. We will be back on WGFS right after this.
When you need insurance, here's the first thing you should do. Call your auto owner's agent. They are people just like you.
Are you age 55 or older? We've reduced the cost of auto owners' homeowners insurance 20% in Georgia. Here's why. Our statistics show mature homeowners have fewer and less costly losses. So if you're 55 or older, it's only fair to charge you less for your homeowner's insurance. For mature homeowner savings, see your no-problem auto owner's agent.
Call your auto owner's agents. They are people just like you.
See the Steele Jones Insurance Agency, located on Floyd Street, Southeast in Covington. Or call 786-9213.
Auto owners, the no-problem people.
And Welcome back to the City Pond Park Complex in beautiful Covington, Georgia. As the Dixie Boys State Tournament winds down, this is the final game. The winner goes to the championship, and right now, if the score stays the same, that'll be the host team, Covington-Newton County. Here with the play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
7 days and 23 games later, they crowned a champion. Who will it be? Covington sends to the plate in the fifth Michael LeMaster, Michael Towns, Richard Stahl. 7, 8, and 9 batters in the order. A conference on the mound, the entire infield of Columbia County getting together, trying to gain a little momentum in the bottom half of the fifth. They went down 1, 2, 3 in the top half. In fact, since the first inning, their only base hit was a single from Jeffrey Williams in the third. Credit Ryan Lee with some fine pitching the last 4 innings.
He really has done a good job, and he's been throwing strikes and making them hit the ball. Kind of a who's who of Covington out here in the crowd. A large number of, quote, dignitaries, if you will, out here. A lot of recognizable faces. And out here to support the hometown team.
And, of course, the two biggest dignitaries of all are here in the press box as the first pitch is high, 1-0. Of course, I'm talking about Tommy Haley and B.C. Crowell of the Covington Recreation Department. Michael LeMaster is 1 for 1. Single and a run scored. He takes one on the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. LeMaster bats from the left-hand side as he throws from that left-hand side. Wind and the pitch. It's outside. He tried to come sidearm against the left-handed hitter. It's 2-1. LeMaster digging back in. Will Anderson on the mound. This is his second full inning. And his pitch is lined to left field. The left fielder coming on, but it bounces in front of him for a base hit. A good start to the fifth inning. Michael LeMaster on base. And the grandson of the former Atlanta Brave, Denny LeMaster, starts it off.
Real good job of hitting there. That pitch was outside about waist high, and he served it right out to left field. Looked for a minute like it was going to hang up in the air long enough for the left fielder to get it, but it got down. And good start for the Covington-Newton County All-Stars.
Now here's Jay Kirkham pinch hitting for Michael Towns. Towns started the game on the mound. Ran into some trouble in the first inning, was immediately lifted. He had been effective for most of the tournament. Kirkham bunts it up the third baseline. Pitcher fields. His throw to first is in time, but the sacrifice works perfectly. 1-3 in the scorebook.
Good bunt there. Got it down where he had to, over between the pitcher's mound and third base, and a perfect sacrifice bunt. It looked like he was going to bunt, and then it looked like he stopped and was almost bailing out, and the ball appeared to hit the bat. It was kind of a strange-looking bunt, actually, Kevin.
An unusual bunt, but nonetheless, it gets the job done. That's all that really matters in this situation. Runner at second base now with one down, and another pinch hitter here, Elton Harper. Harper lost his starting job after he had 2 errors against Moultrie in their first game a couple nights ago. Throw goes to second base, or a fake throw back there as LeMaster dives back in.
Good thing it was a fake throw. Nobody covered. The ball would have gone out to the center fielder.
Harper, the pinch hitter. The stretch and first delivery to him is a called strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Harper played briefly in that second game against Moultrie. He was the starter in the first game, and as we mentioned, made 2 errors in right field, leading to a couple of Moultrie runs. There's a swing and a ground ball back to the mound. The pitcher has no one covering third base, so he'll have to go to first for the out, but moving over to third base is LeMaster.
Good play by the pitcher there. He immediately looked towards the runner at third, but the third baseman had broke towards the hole in case to field the ball. But the pitcher kept his calm, kept his cool, made a good throw to first base. A real good play by the pitcher.
And a composed play, as you mentioned, by Will Anderson, that pitcher. He realized immediately, as you mentioned, that the third baseman came in, and the third baseman also did the right thing because he had no idea the pitcher could field that ball. Gilstrap, the hitter, 2 for 3. A couple of singles and a run scored. Anderson steps off. And LeMaster will be back to the third base bag with his father standing right behind him, encouraging him, giving him instructions. Wind and first pitch, swung on and popped foul over onto the field behind us. It's 0-1.
It's one of the few I've seen actually get over that screen.
Very, very few have made it over the extended screen here at City Pond Complex. They put it in for the championship series of last year and this year. It extends all the way from first base dugout to third base dugout. and a good 15, 20 or more feet high over the regular fence as there's a swing and a miss by Gilstrap, 0-2. And Gilstrap will take that long walk around the back of the batter's box. He's done that several times in the tournament.
This would be a key run to pick up, because if you go up 5, then, of course, it takes a grand salami and then another run to tie you. So that 5-run lead is kind of a really high water mark if you can get it.
The catcher, Kendricks, setting up on the outside part. The pitch is high, and Gilstrap, unhappy with himself, he swung at a pitch up in the eyes, goes down for the third out. For Covington in the 5th inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on. Well, we played 5 innings from City Pond Complex. Covington 6 outs away from becoming a host team that wins the state tournament and making it now to the World Series in Eufaula, Alabama. They're 6 outs away, and we'll continue with our live coverage of the Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex on WGFS right after this.
The all-new 95 Maxima is here. Come in and test drive this great car. We still have a few 1994 Maximas, the most popular Maxima ever. Factory to dealer incentives on 94 models help us to make you a great deal. If you like this terrific car, hurry in to get one of the few remaining new ones. Drive our 6-cylinder luxury Maxima for less than its competition. Great prices on both the 1994 and 1995. 95 models at under $22,000 with automatic power windows, locks, cruise, stereo cassette, air, and much more. Dual airbags, power seat, and remote security. This car is the value that the Maxima name implies. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Irish Drive in Conyers to test drive the all-new 95 Maxima. That's Charles Evans Nissan, 1420 Irish Drive in Conyers, 922.
Covington and Newton County. Ryan Lee appears to be back out there. He's pitched 4 full innings so far, given up 1 hit, hasn't walked a single batter, and he has struck out a total of 5 now. Make that 6. What a tremendous performance so far, Bill, from Ryan Lee.
He's been throwing hard, throwing strikes, and the defense has been supporting pretty well behind him. I got to comment on the fields once again, Kevin. The grounds crew done just a remarkable job. And as you were commenting earlier, I heard you comment that this is probably one of the finest facilities anywhere you'll see in Dixie Boys, and I have to agree with you. It's just a great complex, and the ground crew did an amazing job through all this rain and everything. They've just done great.
Most certainly they have, and of course I wouldn't say that if I didn't mean it, that this place, City Pond Complex, is really one of the finer places to play baseball if you're involved in the Dixie Boys program, really in terms of the people that are here, but also the field conditions and the way the fields are set up as well. This certainly is a complex that, as they said in the intro, is without peer in the state of Georgia.
I have to agree 100% with that. I've seen a lot of different Little League fields around the country, and these are by far the best I've ever seen.
Due up for Columbia County in the 6th as we go gushing on and on about the field conditions. Now it's time for the 6th inning. Jeffrey Williams, Lamar Leverett, and Brian Bacon, 3, 4, and 5 in the order. A very important and crucial inning for Ryan Lee as he throws a first strike here, 0-1. This may be as important or more important than the 7th because the meat of the order is up, and Columbia County has a real shot to score some serious runs in this inning. If Lee shuts them down here, it could be all cruising from there. The pitch is swung on and grounded towards short where Gilstrap makes the play. Could be tough from the hole. Got him. Good throw from the shortstop. Out number 1.
Really good, strong throw. I thought he had nonchalanted the ball just a little too much. He laid back on it, but he unleashed it with a fury and beat him by about a half a step.
Good play from the shortstop, Gilstrap. Had us both scared a little bit as he stayed back, didn't move up one step, just kind of took the ground ball as it came on a little Sunday hop and just barely got the runner at first. He knew something we didn't.
When you've got that cannon, you can afford to lay back a little bit.
Same way Sean Dunston does it for the Chicago Cubs. He can stutter step a couple of times. He throws harder than the majority of Major League pitchers over to first base. Lamar Leverett swings at the first one and fouls it back, 0-1.
That one was coming straight back at us, and the screen made the save for us. That's the first one that's actually kind of been on about the right height coming at us.
The only way that we would ever be able to catch one is if there was a high pop fly right behind home plate because it's got to get over that extended screen. Then it's got to bounce on the pavement in front of us and enter in this small little space here that we're in at the veranda. There's a swing and a deep drive to the right center field. It bounces off the very top of the wall. Miss getting out of here by just an inch or so. Leverett pulls up at second base with a double. That one hit the bunting that was out there in right center field as they commemorate the Dixie Boys State Tournament, and hit the very top bar of the wall.
That ball was tagged. Had he gotten it up in the air just a little bit more, it would have had no problem getting out of here. It definitely had the distance, but it was a line shot and never really got more than about 20 feet off the ground. And as you say, it struck basically the top of the wall. They're lucky that ball stayed in the park.
Brian Bacon will be the hitter. Swings at the first one, fouls it off at home plate. Brian Bacon is 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. Also has a run scored to his credit tonight. The pitch to him is a called strike. 0-2 the count.
They're jockeying and bird dogging in behind the runner at second base. I think they ought to just go ahead and play position ball, not worry about one runner, stay in the position there.
Pitch just misses outside. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Leverett is the runner at second, and he's a big guy and really not much of a threat to steal third, but with a right-handed batter, of course, the threat does increase some. There he goes. There's a swing and a miss. The throw, safe. Well, open mouth, insert foot, Mr. Kevin Holden. Not a threat to steal third, huh? He just did it.
Well, he didn't make it by much. That would have been kind of a bad spot to be thrown out in this key point in the ball game, and he wasn't safe by much.
Now a runner at third, but with 2 down in the inning after the stolen base. And the strikeout. Scott McGowan, with a chance to help his own cause, takes a pitch low. A fake throw down to third base, but Leverett close to that third base bag.
At this point in time, they need more than 1 run, so kind of just need to forget about that runner and play defense out there.
Stretch and pitch is high. 2 balls, no strikes. With 2 down in the inning. The Covington-Newton County All-Stars have a 4-run lead, 7-3. And after this, only 1 more crack for Columbia County. There's a line drive base hit into left field. That will score 1 run. Rounding first and heading for second is McGowan. The throw into the cutoff man, not in time. It's a double for McGowan. It's now 7-4 with that runner at second base and 2 down.
That ball was ripped down the third baseline. Was only fair by about a foot, but got in just inside the chalk. And he went into second base easily with a stand-up double.
Number 24.
The batter will be Brian Powell, the center fielder. Powell is 0 for 2, a strikeout. He's also reached on an error, but he was caught stealing in an unusual situation with 2 down and the number 9 hitter at the plate. The pitch is inside, ball 1.
This is kind of the hitter you want to go ahead and get here, and that way you can keep the meat of the order from coming up in the 7th inning.
Powell, the number 7 spot on the order, takes one on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. If you do that, then you'll face the 8 and 9 spots for the first 2 outs of the inning, or the first 2 hitters of the inning, and a much better chance of getting them out as you do of the 1 and 2 spots in the order. Pitch is swung on and popped up in a shallow center. Almost made the play was Kerry Gilstrap. Here comes a runner around third headed for home. The throw in is cut off, and the cutoff play may have hurt him. Now a runner headed for second base. The throw there not in time. It is 7-5 with a runner at second. A single for Brian Powell. And the throw in might have had the runner if it wasn't cut off.
I was kind of surprised that he cut it off. And then they held the ball at the plate too long, and the runner was able to take second base because he wasn't originally going. The throw was high enough and appeared to have enough on it. I believe they might have got him if the throw goes through, like you said, Kevin.
Well, now, folks, we can't breathe easy. Time for another hard palpitation as it's 7-5 with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Kent Logan, the scheduled hitter, he is walking back toward the Columbia County dugout. We may have a pinch hitter.
Well, Lady Luck shown on Columbia right there because that was one of those almost a Texas leaguer. The shortstop dove headlong, almost coming up with a Kerry Gilstrap, but it just did get beyond his outreach ball glove and into center field. Center field made a good, strong throw to the plate, and for some reason the first baseman cut it. I didn't hear the catcher call for a cut. I believe he cut it on his own.
Well, either way, now a runner at second. And it looks like there is a pinch hitter stepping up, and it is Jim Getz. Jim Getz will hit for Kent Logan. Getz is also a right-handed batter, and this is an interesting situation because Logan was a righty. Perhaps Getz with a little more hitting ability, as there's a called strike in the outside corner, 0-1. course, if Getz has more hitting, that implies that Logan would have more defense, but Logan's playing left field, usually a position that's not really known for its defense. If you have a poor defensive player, you put him in left or at first base. There's a swing and a pop foul, first base side, 0-2.
This is the pitch he wants to go ahead and come after him with. The first two pitches he made were some really good pitches. The first one, a good hard fastball that he wasn't able to get. That one, another fastball up a little bit that he was only able to foul off down the right field line. This is a critical batter at this point in the game right now. He needs to come after him, get him, and then maybe try and come in and get some runs for him.
Stretch of the pitch, just took a feeble swing at it, trying to stay alive, and he fouled it back. It's 0-2.
I believe he should go ahead and stick with that fastball, just come in with a good high, hard one. He's, as you say, taking feeble swings and really doesn't appear to have the ability to get around on the ball at all.
And you really can waste one or two if you have to. If you want to, you can waste a couple high up in the eyes, and the 0-2 was right up there. It's 1-2 as the batter wasn't swinging.
Good 0-2 pitch, had the right idea, just got it up just a little too high, but he was definitely in the right idea because I don't think this batter's going to be able to get around on that good high, hard one.
And the 1-2 pitch swung on and bounced. Fair ball at third base. Robbins makes the play. It's throw to first by the first baseman, Floyd. They'll hold the runner at third base, and they almost caught the runner at first off the bag, did Cedric Floyd, but the first base runner just barely got back in. What do you score it?
I believe you got to call that an E5 on the play. Third baseman had a little trouble getting the ball out of his glove, and then he threw it, and it did go in the dirt. It looked like a ball possibly the first baseman should have come up with, but he was unable to do so. But I believe you got to give the third baseman the error on the play.
In the last couple of games, we've seen a tremendous number of errors from the third baseman of both sides, really, on all clubs that we've seen. Of course, you can go the flip side of that and say third base is really a difficult position to play. You've got the longest throw across the infield. You have to handle those hard line drives off the right-handed bats. You have to field a bunch of bunts, and I think that may contribute to the number of errors.
Of course, if you had a Mark Grace over at first base, a lot of these errors on the third baseman probably wouldn't be, because there have been quite a few throws where a really agile, adept first baseman could have come up with it, I believe.
First pitch is swung on and missed. A runner was headed for second base. In fact, he just now pulled into second base after the throw went back to the pitcher. And they're going to put him back, and he was headed back toward first base. The pitcher stepped off the mound. Why was that runner headed back toward first base? We don't know. Lee stepped off, took a couple of steps, faked a throw, and the runner went diving right back into second base.
Very interesting play. I can't figure out. They must have tried to tell him that it was a foul ball or something to get him to go back towards first.
I think one of the middle infielders probably was toying with him. It's a stolen base, and the 0-1 pitch is high, 1-1.
Came very close to working, so it was a pretty good idea.
They almost picked him off, and I wonder what the umpires might have ruled. I guess since he was off the base, he would have been out. The 1-1 pitch, called strike outside corner, 1-2. Now a big pitch here for Ryan Lee and the Covington All-Stars. You've got a 1-2 count. The tying run potentially is at second base. You want to stay away from the base hit. You do have the number 9 batter in the order and Wesley Kendricks at the plate. The 1-2 pitch swung on and popped up right field side. Could be a foul ball, and it is foul just barely. Another 5 feet toward the left, and Columbia County would have had a tie ball game.
That one looked like disaster when it first left the bat, but it had just enough of a tail on it. It kept slicing and slicing. We were pulling for it to keep slicing and landed foul by about 4 or 5 feet. He got a good poke at it and drove it pretty well down the right field line, but fortunately for Newton County, it went foul.
We can breathe again, basically, is what it comes down to. A 1-2 count. The stretch, the 1-2 pitch. Oh, just a little bit high. It was an off-speed pitch. He tried to bring it down for a strike. It's 2-2.
It's actually, it fooled him so much that he wasn't able to pull the trigger at all. Had it not fooled him so much, I believe he would have got him swinging, but it fooled him so much he couldn't even swing at all on it.
But it was just a little bit high in the umpire's estimation. The 2-2 swung on and missed. A big strikeout for Ryan Lee and the Covington All-Stars that strand runners at second and third for Columbia County in the inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 Newton County and Covington error, but the key in the inning, runners left at second and third. We'll be back the bottom half of the 6th coming up. Covington holds that slim 7-5 lead. You are listening to our live and exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament from City Pond Complex. It's the state championship game, and you couldn't ask for it any better. We'll be back after this.
It's July's Best Buys of the Month going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware. An Ace 32-gallon garbage can, sturdy plastic can with snap lock cover to secure garbage in colors red or brown, only $7.88. Ace Insect Killers, including Ant and Roach Killer, Home Fogger, Flying Insect Killer, or Wasp and Hornet Killer. Last up to 4 weeks only, $1.97 each. That's July's Best Buys of the Month, going on now at Mayfield Ace Hardware, on the Square and in Newton Plaza.
Hinton Plumbing of Covington wants you to know whatever your plumbing needs may be, whether you're tired of that dripping faucet or running commode, or having well pump problems, or need that water line or sewer line replaced, or maybe you're building that dream home and you need a good plumber. Whatever you may need, we at Hinton Plumbing have the personnel to take care of you. Just call us at 786-6282 from 7 until 5, or come by Hinton Plumbing at 4110 Robinson Street in Covington. See Eddie Hinton or Mike Costley for all those plumbing needs.
And welcome back. We're live from City Pond Park Complex in Covington, Georgia, with the Dixie Boys State Championship heading for the World Series. Newton County with a slim 7-5 lead. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Need some more runs, and I've got the man to do it for you, Kevin Holden.
Thank you very much, Bill Dolan. And by the way, we do want to tell you once again, you're listening to Dixie Boys Baseball on WGFS Covington, Georgia, AM 1430. Now with that out of the way, Matt Schell, Ryan Lee, and Cedric Floyd, the next three men up in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Covington does have the two-run lead. And, Bill, I think everyone from this home plate over to the first base side of home plate, every single person that's sitting there and in the dugout and down that right field line would like at least one more run.
I believe you're right. In fact, at the end of that last inning, after that critical strikeout, all of them were on their feet with a cheering, standing ovation.
Of course, on the other hand, the folks to this third base side and sitting down that third base line probably are looking for a shutout inning here. Matt Schell will be the first man up for the Covington All-Stars. Will Anderson winds and he delivers, and it's swung and fouled back to the top of the screen, 0-1. Schell has 1 for 3 tonight, a couple of flyouts and a single. That single led to a run in the fourth inning, which is looking bigger than ever, because without that run, it was a single, a stolen base, another single, a hit by pitch, and a sac fly that brought it in. Without that, it would be 6-5. Anderson goes into his wind. His 0-1 pitch is swung on and grounded towards short. The third baseman tried to come across. Shortstop still made the play, and his throw was in time.
Very difficult play for the shortstop as the third baseman flashed in front of him, but he stayed with it, had good concentration, came up, made a good strong throw, and the first baseman helped him out by stretching, getting a little closer to it, and they got Schell at first base on him.
And Ryan Lee will now be the hitter. Lee is 1 for 2. Personally, he could be 0 for anything right now because of his heroics on the mound. He has done plenty enough for this Covington All-Star team right now. And the first pitch to him is high, 1-0.
By the way, Kevin, this game is brought to you by WGFS Radio and Dixie Boys World Series and produced solely for the pleasure of your listening on. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description that counts this game without express written consent of WGFS Radio and the Dixie Boys is strictly prohibited.
And here may be a foul ball, a high pop fly. It stays in the ballpark, and two of the Columbia County players converged on it, hit each other, and the ball bounced.
Unbelievable. It looked like it was coming back, and then a little bit of wind seemed to blow it back to the screen, and it landed right between three people. Are you going to make them pay for that?
We'll see. I thought we almost had ourselves a foul ball, though. It was popped straight up, and it fit our criteria right over that screen.
Looked like I was angling for the bounce to see if it was going to come up this way for a souvenir.
Would have bounced on the third base side. Don't think we would have had much of a chance. Well, the Columbia County players didn't either. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Called strike, outside corner. With the fastball 1-2. The umpire has been consistent. You've got to give him that. He's given the outside part, plus a little bit, to both pitchers.
That's all you really ask for when you're out there playing, that it's the same for both sides and every time.
The umpires are best when they go unnoticed, and the umpires have been very little noticed tonight. The 1-2 swung on and missed. High inside fastball. It was a challenge, and Lee couldn't quite meet it as he goes down for the second out.
Always hard to lay off that high, hard one that you see so well, but when it's up in your eyes, it's hard to get that swing up there to match it.
And Cedric Floyd steps in. Cedric Floyd is 1 for 1, including a sacrifice fly, a walk, and a single, along with 2 runs scored, so a busy night for the cleanup batter for the Covington All-Stars, and he takes the first pitch high and outside, 1-0.
You really would like to get another run here just for a little bit of safety, see?
But with 2 outs, it will be difficult. Anderson takes the sign from Kendricks. He winds and delivers, swung on and fouled back, and it evens up at 1-1. Due up for Columbia County in the 7th inning And this isn't the greatest of news for the Covington All-Stars. The top of the order. Kevin Erndl, Will Anderson, and Jeffrey Williams are the three hitters due up. Now between them, 2 hits and a total of 8 trips to the plate. 2 for 8 from the top 3 spots in the order, which could mean they're due for some base hits. The wind, the 1-1 pitch is by the catcher back to the screen. Would have helped with a runner on, but no one there, so it's 2-1.
Anytime you have to face the top of the order, normally you're going to put your better hitters at the top of the order, so you're facing danger. And like you said, they could be due at this point in time.
Floyd, a righty in the lineup. I think LeMaster is the only starting lefty in that lineup. There's a called strike at the knees. 2-2.
Pretty good looking pitch there. I guess Floyd was looking for something else and he just couldn't pull the trigger.
Now the deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 2-run lead for the Covington All-Stars. Trying to give Columbia County 2 losses and an elimination in the tournament. The pitch is high and the count goes full. Cedric Floyd will be followed, if he can reach base, by Trey Robbins. Robbins, 1 for 3, a single and a run scored to his credit. We're coming to you from the veranda of City Pond Complex in Covington, Georgia. Sitting on the back porch, it's just like that, watching a ball game, except it's a state championship game. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. And the fans, just a little bit extra hyped for tonight.
I was going to say, I thought we were on the porch when you were talking about a veranda.
You know something about being on porches, is that right?
Some front and back and Ludlow, I don't know.
Yeah, you were on one earlier today, I think. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Cedric Floyd goes down. The Covington All-Stars go down 1-2-3. And here comes the inning of decision, the 7th inning. Could be the final inning of the state tournament here at City Pond Complex after 7 days of action. Covington leads at 7-5. They're 3 outs away from going to the Dixie Boys World Series in Eufaula, Alabama, and we'll be back with the 7th inning right after this.
Oh, these are some nice fish. Hey, give me a hand with this stringer, bud.
The forecast showers heavy.
Boy, was I dreaming up a storm. Had me a new bass boat, lake house, and retired at 44.
Tonight with a low of 74.
Come on in and finance your dreams at Main Street Banks. Mortgage, car loan, personal loan, lake home, bass boat loan, whatever. Finance that dream at Main Street.
Winder, Conyers, or Loganville, we're Main Street Savings Bank. Either way, you'll find a bank that covers an entire region. It's just that our region is real small and real close to home.
Main Street Banks. Real people, real money. An equal housing lender.
And welcome back to the City Pond Park Complex in Covington for the Dixie Boys State Championship. We're down to 1 inning to go. Covington with a slim 7-5 lead. Momentum appears to maybe be shifting the wrong side over to the Columbia side. Kevin Holden, can you hold them off?
That job will be up to Mr. Ryan Lee, who is out there, and he's going to continue on and try to close it out. There is one defensive change for the Covington All-Stars. Matt Howell has replaced Richard Stahl in right field. And so for Covington, it looks like they've used everyone with the exception of Josh Mobley. He's still sitting on the bench for any type of situation that might happen. Well, we're 3 outs away from determining a state champion. Actually, we could be more if Columbia County scores 2 or more runs. But if Covington can hang on, they'd be 3 outs away from a berth. And really, it is a great story, and we've harped on it really over and over, but it's worth mentioning many times. The host tournament usually is a joke. The host tournament has a chance to win this thing. In fact, they're leading in the last inning of the last game. This is something that a lot of folks, I think, didn't expect from the Covington team. Covington came in with a strong team, but when you're dealing with teams that have had to go through district tournaments and you haven't played a single game, it's a big factor. Covington's played great.
They really have. They've been the Cinderella team of the tournament. And I really wonder if a host team has ever actually gone on and won the Dixie Boys World Series, one that started as a host tournament in a state tournament.
We'll have to research it. It may be the case that it's never happened before, and of course the Newton County All-Stars would have a chance to do it if they can hold on and then do successfully in the World Series in Eufaula, Alabama. Kevin Erndl leads it off and takes the first pitch inside, ball 1. You're going to hear the Columbia County and the Newton County folks go crazy with every pitch. If it goes Columbia County's way for a ball, you'll hear them cheer and vice versa. The 1-0 pitch inside, ball 2, and there go the Columbia County fans.
Well, right now, the last thing in the world you want to do is put somebody on with the free pass. They need a base runner to be able to stay in this game. So at least keep the ball in play. Make him hit it or blow it by him.
The 2-0 pitch, a called strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Lee staying with the fastball. He appears not to have lost very much off of that fastball. And as long as he hasn't lost much, he's going to be good with it. The wind, the 2-1 pitch. Another called strike on the inside corner. It's 2-2.
Good comeback after falling behind 2-0, and he missed pretty badly with the first 2 pitches. He's made 2 really quality pitches to get it even 2-2, and now you got to think he's got the edge.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Erndl digging in, and the pitch. Called strike 3, outside corner. That's the first one. 2 more to go. That's the second time in the game that Kevin Erndl has struck out looking.
He didn't appear to be ready to swing at anything. I don't know. I guess he was waiting for the free pass to get down there and try and get something going, but that pitch was painted on the outside corner. Just a great pitch.
Will Anderson will be the hitter. He is hitless so far, but as a pitcher, he could certainly help himself out with a base knock. 2 strikeouts and a fly out and 3 trips up there for Will Anderson. Wind and the pitch. It's low, 1-0. Covington and Newton County has benefited from some terrific quality baseball at all levels so far this year. The high school team, the Newton County Rams, made the Final Four in the state tournament. The host team of a state tournament in 13 and 14 has a chance to win it as well. There's a called strike, 1-1.
Excellent off-speed pitch there. The batter wasn't able to do anything with it. That gets him even in the count.
And certainly this has brought a lot of folks in Covington and Newton County, the folks that maybe were borderline, definitely baseball fans now. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
Once again, taking something off the pitch. He had him off balance and off stride, and he definitely has the edge now. He's doing a great job of pitching right now. Catcher appears to be shook up a little on the plate, Kevin.
Brandon Averett talking with the home plate umpire, and here comes Coach LeMaster and 3/4 of the infield. They're going to come in and talk with Averett for just a moment. He has his mask off, sitting kind of hunched over with his hands on his knees. Something might have happened with that last pitch. Perhaps it was foul tipped off of his mask, or it may have hit him.
The pitch did end up down in the dirt. I couldn't tell if it bounced up and might have struck him in around some of his equipment there and caused a problem.
Perhaps that's what it was. Averett is talking with the home plate umpire right now. Basically, the home plate umpire checking to make sure that Mr. Averett is okay. Dennis LeMaster, the head coach of the Covington-Newton County team, is headed back toward his first base dugout position. And the pitcher and the catcher will discuss things for just a moment. Ryan Lee wants to make absolute sure that Averett is okay. And it's a good chance for them to talk about what pitches they might throw to the next couple hitters.
And they get a good round of applause from the Covington-Newton County fans here.
A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Jeffrey Williams on deck. He has 2 of the 7 Columbia County hits, both of them singles. He has a couple of stolen bases as well, and he waits in the on-deck circle. Meanwhile, the 1-2 count is to Will Anderson, hitless so far tonight. And the pitch, swung on and missed. 2 down now, and the host team is 1 out away from picking up a Dixie Boys state tournament victory and representing the state of Georgia.
The whole infield hulling around the mound now, and you can see the excitement building out there. They feel it. They're ready for it. Now it's just a matter of getting this last batter out and head to Eufaula.
The last hope for the Columbia County All-Stars is Jeffrey Williams. A lot of weight riding on his shoulders. Why do we say that? Because if he gets on base, look who's on the on-deck circle, Mr. Lamar Leverett, who hit the top bar of the right center field fence his last time. Ryan Lee would like nothing more than to retire this hitter and finish it out. He'd rather go see Leverett in high school a couple of years from now.
Absolutely. I know he really doesn't want to have to face him after that rocket that he hit off him in the last inning.
Jeffrey Williams, a left-handed batter, and the first pitch to him is low, and it's in the dirt, ball 1. That was a fastball from Lee, might have tried to overthrow it.
It appeared to kind of hung on a little too long, and that normally tends to make the ball pull down into the lower part of the strike zone or even into the dirt.
Averett again gives the signal, and the 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. It's 1-1.
You were talking about the added weight on the hitter. Also, the thought of making the last out in the tournament is kind of a heavy burden to carry around with him.
It most certainly is. He's got a 1-1 count. And I'm sure a lot of things are on his mind right now. The wind, the 1-1 pitch. Called strike, inside corner, 1-2. Williams didn't like the call.
Once again, it's been pretty consistent with the way the umpire's been calling it. It appeared to catch that inside corner to me about knee-high. And the Newton County Covington fans are going wild. They're all on their feet in anticipation of the championship.
One strike, one more strike, gives Covington the state championship and the right to represent the state of Georgia in Eufaula, Alabama.
A real Cinderella story.
It most certainly is how Covington has become the king of the teams, the king of Dixie boys. The wind, the 1-2 pitch, just missing high and outside. You can see the fans ready to jump up and celebrate.
Well, it'd be kind of hard for them to jump up. They're all up already, so I hope they all don't jump at one time on those bleachers. We could have a minor disaster over there.
Avery with the signal, and the 2-2 pitch. High, 3-2. They wanted the call there. That was a breaking ball that dropped in, but was just a little bit high. A full count, 3-2. One more wide one, and you've got the tying run potentially at the plate in Lamar Leverett. Ryan Lee will go out, walk out towards second base, take a long stroll. He's got his hat off. He's going to take his time, get his composure, take a deep breath, and fire loose a 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Swung on and hit to left field. Left fielder comes on and bounces in front for a base hit. Rounding first and stopping there is Williams. He is at first with 2 down. And here comes big bad Lamar Leverett, the equalizer. And he could be with one long ball.
And the coach out there talking to him a little bit now.
And again, there will be a conference of the Newton County infielders at the mound. They've been talking with Ryan Lee about every other pitch out there. You've got to know that this team has a tremendous amount of energy and emotion and nerves right now, being the host team, playing in front of the host fans, and having a chance to win this thing. After last year coming in the Dixie Boys World Series and gaining experience as the host team. So after hosting the series, they'll then represent Georgia in the series, but you got to get by Lamar Leverett. That's the way it should be. In order to win the championship, you've got to get the big guns out.
As Ric Flair says, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Well, the man is at the plate. And the first pitch to him is a called strike, 0-1 on the inside corner. Last time up, Leverett drove one on the line that bounced off the top bar of the fence for a double. He came around to score after stealing third base. He scored on a double by Scott McGowan. Here in the nightfall in Covington, Georgia, with the lights on, good old baseball being played. The stretch and the pitch, inside, ball 1.
And the Newton County Covington fans howl again as they thought that one could have been a strike. On the pitch that made it go to 3-2 on the previous batter, there was a lot of heart stopped on that slow, tantalizing breaking ball as they waited for the call.
It's a dangerous pitch to throw if it's in the strike zone to this hitter. The 1-1 pitch, swung on and grounded towards second base. Fielded, bobbled, and thrown to first. Newton County celebrate. You've got a state champion in the Covington Newton County All-Stars. The fireworks are going off, and they're going off for the Covington Newton County All-Star team as they pick up the state championship. They defeat Columbia County 7-5. What an emotional and exciting night it is in Newton County.
What a way to finish it. A little dribbler towards the second baseman. He came in, booted it for a minute, gave us another scare, picked it up, and tossed it underhand, but got it to the first baseman in time for the out, and we're heading to Eufaula.
Here come the folks with the cooler. They're about to douse somebody. Who are they going to get? They're going to get the coach, LeMaster, and he's got some speed left in him. He evaded the cooler.
No, they got a little bit. I see a red streak down the back of the white pants. They did get the lower half, but he did get away from them for the most part.
And they were going to come after him a second time, but again, he was too fast for his players. 7-5, your final score. The Covington Newton County team, the host team of this tournament, has wrapped up the state championship. And we'll be back to wrap this one up right after this. You're listening to our live and exciting coverage of the 1994 Dixie Boys State Tournament right here in Covington, Georgia at City Pond Complex here on WGFS AM 1430. We will be back.
There once was a lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she knew not what to do. So to Newton Federal Savings and Loan she went and found out that she did not have to rent. She was told of an affordable real estate loan and moved out of the shoe and into a home.
At Newton Federal, a real estate loan to fit your budget is as simple as a nursery rhyme. We lead you all the way through the process, making it easy to understand with helpful, knowledgeable service. You can get into the home you really want if you first get into Newton Federal. With affordable rates and a finance plan to fit most any budget, our real estate loans are the keys to the house of your dreams. Come see how we're leading the way.
For all that you do at work or play, you know we'll be leading the way.
Newton Federal Savings and Loan, leading the way at 3175 Highway 278, Covington. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
If you hate high energy bills, then call Bryant to the rescue with energy-efficient air conditioning and Bryant variable speed plus 90i gas furnaces. Buy now and get 6 months same as cash financing. Let a Bryant professional save you energy and money year-round. Call James Hayes at Air Conditioning Specialist. Bryant Energy-Wise Gas Heating and Cooling. More efficient, cost less naturally.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me, rescue me.
The folks at Henderson's Restaurant invite you to join them for dinner tonight. How about some of their famous catfish, fried chicken, barbecue, vegetable plates, steaks, burgers, and fries? Don't worry about what's in the pantry or whose turn it is to do the dishes. Just go to Henderson's Restaurant, just 5 miles from the square on Highway 36 in Covington. Henderson's is open Friday and Saturday from 4 to 10 and Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9. Don't forget to join us for Sunday dinner 11 to 8:30.
And as they say, it doesn't get any better than this. Newton County Covington, the host team, with a true Cinderella story as they've gone through the tournament and become the state champions as the fireworks go off again. Kevin Holden, what more can you say?
Really not a whole lot, except that it has really been an exciting, as we mentioned, and a great night for baseball here in Newton County and a great week for baseball. Just the thrill of being able to host a Dixie Boys state tournament after hosting the Dixie Boys World Series last year is certainly a thrill for the folks in this area and for Tommy Haley and for all the folks at the Recreation Department. You know it's had to be a thrill to be able to host this and bring folks in from all over the state of Georgia. And, of course, they've done a fine job. They've had experience from last year. They got a little extra added bonus. Their team won the tournament.
Unbelievable, and as I say, a Cinderella story. We commented earlier about a lot of the dignitaries out there in the audience, the local who's who of Covington. Also, Kevin, I believe the local state senator from the 45th District, Mr. Bob Gould, is in attendance at the game, too.
Yes, he most certainly is, and he saw some great baseball.
Yes, he did. You can't get much better of a game than that. Really, quite a difference from last night where it was a rout. Tonight, an excellent ball game. Both teams played their hearts out. It's just a shame one team has to lose.
It really is, and for Columbia County, a team that lost their first game in the very first day of the tournament, losing to Duluth 9-5, they came back and they won on 5 straight nights to set up this matchup here. And hats off really to Columbia County because they really did an excellent job in this tournament and played tremendous baseball. It's a town and a county with a lot of tradition. Their high school team was ranked 14th in the nation this year. We can see based on the talent level that that's going to continue. But for Columbia County, they take the second place trophy home.
And speaking of the high school level, it looks like Newton County's in for some good ball players in the near future, too.
It most certainly is. It looks like if this team, of course, 13 and 14-year-olds means they're 7th and 8th graders right now. So in 4 years, you can look for a very strong team at Newton County High School. Don't look for superstars. Look for team efforts and team victories. Because if you had to point out somebody who's really gotten the job done in terms of hitting home runs and driving in runs, you really couldn't pinpoint one player. 7, 8, 9 players do the job every night. Of course, tonight, if you had to give an MVP, probably Ryan Lee.
That's true. He really did the job coming in and just stopping it, and a real true gritty, gutty performance in the 7th inning there.
Well, Bill, we are hoping to bring you broadcast from Eufaula, Alabama, which is the site of the Dixie Boys World Series this year. The details are still being worked out. We are looking to bring you broadcast from Eufaula. Stay tuned to WGFS. We'll give you all the details. The tournament is set to begin a week from this coming Saturday. In other words, 8 days from today, we would be in Eufaula for that World Series. And No longer will they have the Newton County uniforms on, folks. They will be donning the uniforms of the state of Georgia. What an exciting night for the folks in Newton County. Bill, any final words on the 7-day Dixie Boys State Tournament?
It's been a lot of fun. Glad I've been able to get out here and do a couple of the games with you, Kevin. Of course, always my pleasure to stand beside you in the broadcast booth, and it's really a pleasure to make it be a winning effort.
That's absolutely right. The dynamic duo is back, and is it the dynamic trio now? Because we've got to include the Covington-Newton County team. It's the trio of stars in our particular broadcast for tonight, the two of us plus the championship team. We're so modest. 7-5 is your final score. Covington on top.
And I guess you could say perhaps a little revenge extracted since our Rams went down in defeat. Well, the Newton County All-Stars here defeating Columbia and getting a little bit of revenge for the elder statesmen, the Rams.
And that's exactly it. So Newton County will be in Eufaula, Alabama for the Dixie Boys World Series. Well, this brings to a close our broadcast from the state tournament. We certainly have had a lot of fun bringing to you the broadcast for the last several days, and certainly much sweeter to bring home that championship to Newton County. So for executive producer Brian Chrisman, and for my broadcast partner, the other half of the dynamic duo, Mr. Bill Dolan, this is Kevin Holden reporting from City Pond Complex. The first place trophies are being awarded to the Newton County All-Stars. We'll see you in Eufaula, Alabama. So long, everybody.